We are once again at Rogers Frame, where the old Rogers Pusher Station used to be located. Stay tuned, in this video I've got lots of extras, so don't fast forward or you're going to miss some great information. As trains move down the Connaught grade towards us and pass us, listen carefully as you'll hear the dynamic braking in the locomotives. This train is 152 hoppers long, which is about 8,500 feet. The original grade, which is this Connaught grade, is 2.2 to 2.5%. Holding back a train going down a hill like this takes skill. To the left is where the bunkhouses used to be. The bunkhouses had full laundry facilities, a full kitchen, and they even had their meals cooked for them. As shown in the last video, just around that bend in the distance is the old Y, which is now abandoned. Crews would get a 2-hour call that they needed to get their train ready for the next train to push up the hill. This string of SD40s would then move to the Y, pull into the Y, and wait for the train going westbound to approach. The incoming train would pull past the Y, and then they would split the train in two and insert the pushers into that location. Once into position, the trains would head up the Connaught grade towards the Connaught Tunnel and cross the famous Stoney Creek Bridge. Stoney siding, located at the top of this steep grade, is about 10 miles away from the bottom of the start of the grade. The pushers are removed from the train at this location, and then the train continues on its journey west. In 1986, when the McDonald grade was built, of course the pusher station was no longer needed, and all of this was abandoned. Now all we have is just the 2 tracks that run through here, one for eastbound and one for westbound, and the snow fighting machines that are left in the shed located below. To the east of the Rogers siding seen below where the train is on now, to Beavermouth is single track, so the coal train that was heading eastbound is waiting for this train approaching now to clear. Something to pay attention to here. As the train is passing us, it's doing about 35 miles an hour. As the train goes up this grade, even though it's 1%, this train is very heavy and is losing speed quite quickly. Not because the engineer chooses to slow it down, just simply because of the grade and the curve. Loaded coal trains weigh approximately 22,000 tons. In certain situations, not all trains use this McDonald track to go westbound. Sometimes, if there's a lot of traffic and an intermodal train is going westbound, because of its lighter weight, typically somewhere in the neighborhood of 10,000 ton, they will send it up the Connaught track and bypass the trains going up the McDonald. The climb to the top of this grade is approximately 10 miles, as mentioned, and can take a train more than an hour to do. After that, there is still a slightly reduced grade going through the Shaughnessy and the McDonald Tunnel, which adds at least another 15 miles to that trip. These trains are working hard for a long time. Rogers was actually not the first location for the pusher station. It was located in what is now Kinbasket Lake. At the bottom of it, if you look at this Google Maps images, you can actually see the old railway bed and the Y. And the location where they took the pushers off was also not at Stoney Creek originally. It was at Glacier, located on the other side of the Connaught Tunnel. This goes back to the days of the steam locomotives. Another little tidbit of information that really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the actual pusher station has more to do with one of the crew that worked there. He was an engineer, and he was known for some interesting antics. If you fell asleep while you were a conductor or a brakeman in the cab, he would give you a great big wet kiss on the cheek. You would never fall asleep again on the job after that. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we visit Glacier and Illes Silhouette.